Hello and welcome back. You've survived the split. Nothing has changed except that we're all now a few seconds older, and that Borislav Potev has joined for Team Fast and Crazy Sim Sports. Take over from them in the next pit stop, and we still have Ellis Lipetisia from Dynamics Racing GT2. I keep wanting to say Dynex. I blame Isaac fully for that.
It's okay.
And what does your plan look like now? You're gonna get back into the car? I guess the answer to that is yes, or is it no?
Well, for now it's no. I'm gonna drive the very last hour. I'm gonna wait for my teammates to finish their stints.
And well, I actually forgot what I was gonna say there, but tire wear for you and your car and your class, that's not an issue at all, is it?
Well, not exactly, I guess. Quite fine.
Yeah, it seems to be a theme. We've only seen one puncture so far, and it wasn't exactly in a GT2 car, so... Tires are holding up nicely. It's not like Wester, where we had puncture mania going on in the in a few of the stint ends.
When I was doing my very first stint, I was quite worried about flat spotting because every time when I was going through third sector, I was getting flat spots on the left front side all the time.
That is the weak point for the tires. The only weak point. I was almost automatically going to read out what's been posted in the chat, but I'll just say it that Car 72 has significant cosmetical rear end damage. And they are pretty much in a race of one now. Back then GT2.
And 59 GT2 is now in the lead as
the
number
leader
70
yes.
is in the pits.
Yes, very much so. Pitting the bus, refueling it with diesel. Oh wait, wrong bus. And it's not in the pits yet, so yeah. Get the diesel barrels ready. Gonna need a fuel load. I mean, so far, well, it's probably down to safety girls, but so far the top end of the GT2 class, they're really close together. If you look at the top 5 and so on, they're always within 1 sector almost at all times, and have been so, and that has been the case since the start of the race, really. Although at the start of the race, the 77 core car was still part of that, and they've since retired. With, well, quite a spectacular flip in the chicane.
Whoa! Car 07 did an interesting lapping move, and now 59 is under threat of LLM because Michael was forced to do a stop not to go into a wall.
Oh dear, oh dear, oh dear. The XR should definitely have the straight line spin advantage. But it doesn't look like he's anywhere near close enough for that move.
Well, he won't win much because the second driver for 59 GT2 has joined. So obviously Michael will just go into the pits this lap.
And in the bus goes, diesel barrels are ready, LLM also in at the same time, so it's going to be a pit stop race. And also in is Martin Kapal for Savage Sim Sport, so 3 GT2s in at once. All coasting around at 81 kilometers. Let's see who's gonna get out first of all these 3. Meanwhile, also joining Jona Rantala for Genuine Racing number 29, Krasimir Ivanov for Genuine Racing number 9. Oh, 52 away a little sooner, but Jonah had enough of an advantage to just about keep the lead. Christian Brösiger now in the car. Darby takes over the Savage Simsports entry as well. Jordan Lafrikov back in to the LLM car as Pablo Santos tries to be Ken Block around turn 2. At least I just saw him drifting in the background there. And now we're gonna see the next round of GT1 pit stops. Car 29's already in. And Jona Rantala now in the car.
Kurasi ready to take. Ooh!
Yeah, it's that pit entry is fabulous in a GT1, isn't it? It's very it's something I haven't even mentioned yet. The pit entry here at BO1R, which is something you really don't feel anywhere near as badly if you're driving it the other way around than it is the exit. On the entry, the road seems to really fall away to the right side. You just get massive, tons and tons of understeer on the pit entry when you're driving into it too fast. And yet, just when it straightens back up again, you get massive oversteer. So, nice and balanced there. Nice and balanced. Or rather, not nice and not balanced. Depends how you look at it. Krasi now in the car. Just mandatory work, tyres and fuel. Fuel and tyres. And now it's going to be a question of, now it's going to be a question of when Dynamics Racing is going to pit, as apparently one of my teammates' cars almost flipped, which is always pleasing to hear.
And how long Conquest with Goik will stay out, because
yeah, that's going to be a big question.
His was impressive.
It was really impressive. Oh, Bartolotta and Tamouten for P3 in GT1 currently. Holy moly, they're coming up to a massive traffic jam. What are you doing, guys?
3 wide out of the last corner.
I'm not sure what they're trying to do. Also, I think we have a lead change coming up well, effective lead change in GT2, and we've had one, and Lavrikov's passed the FXR, and now we're gonna get some GT1s thrown into the mix.
We have a timeout, 64.
Yep, car 64, that's World Class Lions.
But his teammate immediately joined and they're back down.
Yeah, it just still depends on where they timed out on the track. They might have lost up to a lap. Also, for me, his teammate doesn't have a skin, but that could just be a bug.
Anyway, Jesse Telkel in the pits.
In the pits, or on pit road.
Isaac will take over.
Goik predictably goes on for another lap, minimum. And hearing 64 timed out in the second sector, so not the worst of places, but not exactly the best. Isaac Price takes out a car, off the pit limiter goes, up to 81 kilometers an hour. 80 actually, not 81. Didn't have enough money for 81, I had to negotiate one. Price out onto the circuit again in P3. Or what is for now P3 and will later on become 1. And well, Conquest Racing gonna be interesting to see how long they go this time. They're a little bit more tyre wear than they seemed to have earlier, but not too much of an issue there. Also, Carpetta takes over from Ter Martin in the number 11 Corsa Motorsports car, the red and black XR, which now resumes the track in P7 in class. It's going to be interesting to see again who's gonna do what in for how long and why and whatever. GT2, we have currently a pair of Iris cars leading, even if they're not too close together. But it's 54 from the 58, the XR from the SR. Press Blackwood joins for the number 08 Conquest Racing SR effort now. Probably most likely going to pit at the end of this lap. I'm going to be predicting at the end of lap 108, so 2 hours 10 minutes into the race. Will be even more by the time they actually do pit.
Grid has pretty spread out. There's not much action going on.
It's something that's quite odd. It's just, I guess it's so easy to trip over each other here that oh, 2 drivers joining at once for Conquest to decide who's gonna be, guys.
Oh, we have a developing battle here, 69 and 53 on the straight. And 69 has a slipstream side by side for the chicane. And the move is successful.
And this time
in 9th
P19. P19, which overall, which in class seems to be
9th.
A place, 9th, yes.
Oh, 9th, yeah.
But yeah, talking about 2 drivers joining for the same team, that actually reminds me. Yesterday I was watching an R-Factor League race where suddenly 2 drivers had control of the same car and had to retire. Which is probably the most hilarious reason to retire I have ever seen in an R-Factor race.
Oh,
car 69, yes.
Got a drive-through penalty for 55. Let's see, who is it?
That's Asex GT2.
Yep. Probably missed the action when he had a shamazzle.
Causing an avoidable incident. R69 and 55. I remember seeing them together, but I don't remember. Was it that turn 1?
There wasn't much an accident. They just run out pretty good. Anyway, 54 Team Virus GT2 car.
Yes, in
the lead side in the pits, and Morgan Trolley will take over from Niki Dakovic.
Meanwhile, Conquest number 7 is leaving the pits after having successfully managed to make a pit stop and a takeover. Virus number 58 takes over from Virus number 54. I mean, to lead the class, for now at least, and for quite a considerable while, because they still have a good amount of tread on the tyres. Iron Club is currently P2 in GT2. So, yeah, more controller in the car now. It's actually been quite a while since I've seen him driving. Either I'm just imagining that, or it's really been quite a while since I've seen him driving. Suddenly, it seems like every team's trying to dig up their oldest drivers from somewhere.
From the ash.
In P1, well, we have the same story as earlier. Bartolotta and the M5S car. They're out there with half a week's worth of the tire treads left. Well, it'll be quite interesting to see what their exact strategy is, because they're leaving it very open, really, to do whatever they want to do. which is much.
I'm not sure if they are trying to save one pit stop because it's theoretically possible. I
For
guess
them it's possible, yeah, but
that's quite a good strategy if they can manage the tires.
yeah, definitely. I mean, Bartolotta and his teammate for this race, Campini, they know a lot about finishing consistently and driving consistently everywhere, because they won the GT1 Challenge Teams Championship last season. Yeah, and they also won the Grade 5 class category in the 9-hour race, which was so totally difficult for them. But that's probably one of their lesser achievements. Isaac Price is closing up a bit on them, although it might also be related to a bit of lappery going on.
I look at number 30, Nitro Relics, and I wonder, did they have problems why Dennis Lind pitted so early? At first I thought they would try to change tires and then pass everyone through the pits, but they're still in P8, and
yeah,
not looking that they improved much.
Well, can't really tell at the moment, but I have to admit I didn't see why Dennis pitted so early, if it was tire related or not, but I think that for sure doing a pit stop so early on the green flag must have cost them hugely, because I think they basically pitted like 20 minutes, like 10-15 minutes after the restart earlier. No wonder it cost them so much on track. That's it, our pit stop takes its time.
And the problem is for them that they're not catching up pretty, and they're on actually the same pace with the Conquest car. I mean, 07 car.
They're just much further behind. Well, not much further behind, but they're much further behind the lead cars than they were earlier in the race. Seems that pit stops really put things off for them. R4 continuing on for another lap, and now this time slightly quicker than Isaac Price, and slightly quicker than Krasimir Ivanov as well. He's still there ready to pounce on P3.
The top 3 has pretty equal pace, and it's of one doing a mistake and one doing it consistently.
Yeah, but the problem is that Ford doesn't have that much pace at all, because they're pretty much well, they have a much lighter car now with much more worn tires, so overall they're slow, and I guess they're trying to make it back up somehow. Because that's the only thing you can do if you're slow. If you're slower and you're gonna do the same thing as everyone else, you're gonna be behind those people. You gotta try something different if you don't have the pace to be in the position you desire outright. So I guess it's a different strategy from them. And to all, well, I was gonna say team principals for a second, to all team members related to any team in the race, feel free to come here for a nice little chat. If you won't insult anyone or swear, no one will be angry at you, whatever you say. Just come to the NDR TeamSpeak, PM me, and well, we'll get things sorted out.
Car 69 in GT2 has recovered well. He had the drive-through penalty to serve. He lost the position to car 53 and is now back in front of them again.
Oh yeah, that's true. 53 also have a penalty. Or something.
Unless I missed the action and they hadn't served it yet, but I think they did already.
I'm a bit baffled at the moment, but okay, it's not the first time I've missed something in this race. Yeah. I really can't work it out. They've just been through the pits, it says it in the chat, and yet they're still 19th. Or because they didn't pit yet or something.
Well, it was not, well, I think I sorted that out. There wasn't much to lose because Santos, I mean, 72, 55 and 64 is few laps down on them, so they both went to the penalties and then sorted themselves out on the track.
I guess it's gotta have been like that. Oh, and a little bit of yellow flag action going on around T3.
Santos ran wide in the chicane.
Not just Santos. Well, that's turn 8, but I'm talking about turn 3.
Oh, damn it! I thought about sector 3.
Looks like the Jedi FXR has had some antics with someone, because I don't remember them being so far down, and especially not behind Savage.
Oh yeah.
Well, that's all I'm gonna say.
Ooh.
Yeah. Oh no, we've got 55. How is 55 causing a yellow flag? I don't know.
He spun in the turn 1.
Oh, that's nice. And he had contact with 56, as I see. It's very
Yeah,
nice.
it's most probably it was a little shamazo and eventually spun in the first one.
Oh dear. That could have
But
gone
not
better
causing
then.
much of a trouble for anyone.
Yeah, it's mostly well, that's what wins you this race. Is just well, not this race in particular, but races like this on a tight track where lapping is something that has high priority, and just keeping your nose clean is important. It's very, very important, actually. And we clearly see that the people who have done that so far are at the front of their class.
Theoretically, Bartolotta, the lead car in GT1 and overall, has roughly 17 more minutes for driving. If they're doing 120 stints, it looks like.
Yeah, indeed.
And they're in fact now lapping Conquest GT1.
Well, yeah, but I don't think they have any reason to fight them because they know they're off sequence. Well, anywhom,
I just putting into perspective how pace differs in GT1 class.
Well, start to finish, yeah.
We still have a small grid in GT1. It's like 10 or
10 cars actually.
10 cars, and
yeah.
P1 lapping P7, P6, yeah, P7. It's pretty odd for me. it should be more equal. So everyone in the class should have a fight between themselves, not just giving up. But yeah, it depends on one's pace.
Indeed. But, well, in the commentary box now is one Jesse Telkula of Dynamics Racing. Hello, Jesse.
Hi.
So, you've been doing a double stint at the
Yes.
start, from what I could tell, and you were at the sharp end of the grid. Well, being at the sharp end of the grid obviously means the first question is going to be, what was the lapping like?
Well, I've had some bad luck with GT2 cars, but it hasn't been that big a problem really, just in them lapping them in the wrong place, but in general they are good. Lapping is fine.
As your teammates drive into the back of another car in GT1. But what? Well, obviously, you know, just as the same as I asked your teammate, since you're new for round 2, do you expect to do any future races to get to some specific position in the championship, or are you just here to be here to compete in each race as an individual race, and you don't care really too much about the standings?
Well, I don't care about standings, I just wanted to race because I like the track and well...
Safety car boards and flags, safety car boards and flags,
Oh, and-
car upside
Oh.
down turning,
Oh, oh.
car upside down
Oh,
turning,
and we
safety
have
car
another
boards and flags.
car
Leader
upside
is
down.
in front of
Safety
the
car,
corner,
safety
safety car. Hold, you'll have about 4 more cars and then scramble. Safety car, go ahead, 2 more cars, scramble.
And that's well,
Mafia
that
racing.
Tony upside down. So yeah, however they served their penalty without losing 19th, well, it doesn't matter that much anymore. But well, yes, I guess that doesn't affect your car too much because it's the same problem as always. We have halfway through the stint, it's not worth the pit, but I guess it was foreseeable that there would be safety cars in this race. Did you prepare yourself for them in any way, or did you just do your thing and you were going to see what's going to happen?
Well, we have been a little scared of safety cars because the fact is that Isaac's started to practice LFS right after his pro race, and he has been driving for several months, so we have not been sure how we will be able to compete with some cars, but at the moment he's doing really fine, so not too worried, and I'm confident that these safety cars don't cause any problems for us.
But yeah, safety car number 3, which means I won my bet. I just hope there won't be any more, otherwise I'll lose it. Within 3 hours, 3 safety cars, and well, what kind of appeal was there for you to compete in the GT1 class? Because obviously the GT1 class is, well, the numbers are thinner than in the GT2 class. We have 10 versus 17 starters in those classes. Did you just want to drive a GT1, or did you want the competition from the top teams there, or why exactly GT1 and not GT2?
Well, in West Hill I wanted to drive GT1, but then I didn't find any teammates for it, so I had to drive GT2. GT1 is in general a much better car, and I've driven too much GT2 already, and well, the competition is much better in GT1, so obviously it was no doubt that I will drive GT1.
Oh, good to hear. I guess you're gonna get into the car again at the end of the race?
Yeah, in next hour, and I will drive it the last hour too.
Okay, anyone you wanna greet, anything you wanna promote, anything you wanna say to anyone, or whom or whatever?
Do you want to sell something, maybe?
Well, how could I say this? Axel is pretty handicapped when he's rolling, and well, nothing else.
Oh, well, that's an insight like no other there. Yeah, thank you, Jesse, for delightful number of questions and answers.
Thank you.
Good luck to you and to your team for the rest of the race.
Kiitos, kiitos.
As we go back to the circuit, M5S has pitted.
Oh yeah, I think it was pretty much perfectly timed for them.
Yep.
Because just around the end of their stint, and they're gonna overtake pretty much everyone in GT1 now. Once they pit at the end of this hour, so for them it's worked out really well. In GT2 we have, well, in GT2 and rest of GT1 we didn't really have any pit stops, except for I think 73 changed drivers, and a very few exceptions. But the general rule has been half term safety car during the hour means stay out. Well, looks like Virus, did they pit? No, looks like it, their tires are pretty thick. They might just be... Oh no wait, they've just waved around, I think. I don't know. It's getting too confusing now, there are too many cars that are XRs.
You mean the 54 car?
Yes, the 54 car, I wonder if they...
Well, the tire looks very thick and fresh, I guess they
yeah,
pitted
exactly.
it.
Yeah, but then again, would they be first in GT2? Well, second in GT2, one of the first, I mean. In GT2, if they did pit, because you can quite clearly see that I think Hockcher's tires in the 70, the Dynamics car, I think they're just a few millimeters too thin to be really fresh. They look like they're already a few minutes old.
Yeah.
I would really like to have a, I don't know, just by default the in-game display to see how many pit stops each car's done, although I could just look at the tracker, frankly, which I haven't done so far in any way. Well, while doing that, I'll announce some positions to you, or the top 5 in both classes right now are in the GT1, Dynamics Racing car number 10 from Genuine Racing number 09, from Conquest Racing number 08, and Genuine Racing number 29, followed by, in 5th place, Corsa Motorsports, the new team in car 11. Top 5 in GT2 looks as follows: Dynamics Racing GT2 in car 70 with Hockcher behind the wheel, Morgan Trolle for Team Virus in the number 54. In second, to 52, Jordan Lavrikov, Last Lap Motorsports in P3. P4 is Chucky in number 58.
Ooh, we have a pile-up! We have a pile-up in the front straight. GT2.
Oh my god, you're kidding. How the hell did they manage that?
Well, the field is
I didn't know that the World Touring Car field from Macau last weekend was racing here. I really didn't know. My oh my, it all started off, it seems, with contact between 56 and 04, and that would be Garrett Mead in the Savage Sim Sports car and Michele Campini in the M5S car. And someone must have landed on top of that 55 car, at just the right front of that. Just the bonnet's just been pressed down. Wow. Quite an incident there.
Well, they should be more aware of tire. They're so compact and they're weaving like hell.
They're just sitting on each other's bumpers, yeah, that's not something...
They should just... It's...
They have to do it all.
Why do you sit millimeters away from others' bumpers? Just leave yourself in your neighbor's space and do your tire warming if you need.
Oh dear, oh dear. Always a new thing comes along.
55 run out of the circuit in the back straight.
Oh dear, oh dear.
It's fun.
Also been contact between them and 54 Virus car. They're really trying to not make this a race like any other, but in a not quite so positive way.
That's pretty ridiculous. And now 55. I'm not sure it's legal. 55 took their place. Yeah. Not
You
pretty
can't.
legal.
You can't retake your position. So
Yeah, that's what I mean. Just he should go back to the pack because they're where he belongs after he spun in the pawn straight.
well, you have to rejoin where you have to place yourself in the queue where you rejoin. Doesn't matter where that is. If that's at the back, then
That's the back of the pack, totally.
yeah.
That's a pretty chaotic safety car procedures. So
Well, yeah,
far.
but for once it's well, not for once, but it's down to our Macau touring car grid here that it's happened. So I hope many of you watched the Macau races or have at least seen the crashes from it, which are well with a 100% possibility already on YouTube and have been for many days. But yeah, it's a little bit like that.
Macau always brings a spectacle.
Usually always also brings a lot of repair bills. Last year wasn't exactly fantastic, but this year was just beyond everything. It was that poor. I mean I think one of the race winning times at Macau, I think that must have been like almost 1.5 hours because of red flags. And you have to remember WTCC races are usually 22 to 25 minutes or so. So yeah, go figure WTCC grid. I mean, I know there are new regs for next year, but it didn't have to trash all the cars until they were undrivable anymore. Oh, and Palmonte half spun.
Oh,
And he's retaking his spot. What are you doing?
Don't do it, Paul.
Oh man, don't do it.
It's not legal. Please don't. You're a lap down. You've got nothing to lose. Please go back.
Well, he has something to lose, another lap to everyone behind him, but well, he just lost that by half spinning and rejoining right behind the leader. I guess it doesn't matter which lap you're on. You have to rejoin where you are, and not rejoin to where you were.
Well, if he doesn't go back where he been after he spun before retaking position, that would be an end up in drive-through penalty after safety car.
Most likely.
So, if there's anyone in the stream from Nitro Velo, just tell him to go back.
Safety car at the end of this lap.
Before trouble comes to your side. Anyway, safety car in this lap.
Yep, indeed. WCL is just doing some catching up there. I think they should just about get to the rear of the GT2 grid. And everyone furiously heating up their tires, just like no one in F1 would, because they don't want tire heat.
Because Pirelli?
Yes, because Pirelli is super soft. The GT2 leader left told to leave a gap to GT1 group. And now Isaac Price has control over the field. And he's gone, and he's got a huge advantage. And Krasimir Ivanov is going to be looking at his rearview mirror, which is full of yellow Conquest car. But not in that corner, my friend. Oh, Mantis struggles a bit with the car, and of course places it on the inside line. Oh, and that is... I will just not comment on that. That was not exactly the most intelligent way to lead someone by. Instantly cost the General car a position there. I will admit it's not exactly being fantastic, being surrounded by lead lap cars as a lap car, but that could have gone better. We have him being Palmonte now being overtaken by Jon Arantala. Oh, and we have 3 wide between Campini, Gaida, and Carpetta.
Gaida tried to put his nose and not managed to Campini close the door in time.
Not quite. Looks like
But he
Campini.
has a run on the straight.
Oh yeah, what a run! Whoa, that's all the DRS there. Oh, and they make contact! Oh, and Campini has to open up the steering and goes off and, well, loses 2 places in 1 corner there. I bet
He should have been more patient. I mean, Gaida.
It was a bit of a half move, like, and there's a spin, and that's LLM. In turn 5 out of the first chicane.
Mr. Renat running a little too wide, touching grass and ending up spinning.
Well, but frankly, they have something to lose, because they're actually on the same lap as Palmante. So they're actually fighting against Nito Velox.
And now he's far behind Paul Mante.
Yeah. Well, he's lost quite some distance, actually. Contact between Jarrett Mead and Hokja. Oh, don't do bump drafting, guys. Oh dear, Jarrett Mead being a bit naughty there, doing bump drafting with Virus. Oh, and there's a bus! Oh dear. Oh dear, they've compacted themselves very... Oh no! That was a bit going for a gap that wasn't there. Now
88 has an Ayrton Senna moment, and now
Jarrett Meads, he should be okay if he's on the inside. Yep, Jackie gives him the room. Oh, but gets very close to the rear bump on exit.
And now 59 Bus has a chance to bounce because.
Oh, but he's being attacked by 88. We're again back with the Macau touring car grid. Everyone is sitting on each other's bumpers. Seems like
Mead running little wide.
Yeah, but I think he's just got the few meters ahead he wanted to be ahead, and now Jackie's gonna come under pressure from the Jenner bus. And that should be...
Well, theoretically, Jackie should have strong straight line advantage, but...
Well, it doesn't... No, not really. That car really didn't seem like it had any straight line speed advantage. Oh, and Terhes timed out for ASEX. A rotten day isn't getting any better for them.
And 88 inside of Team Virus Jackie.
Oh dear! Don't
Good
make
move.
it this close, but millimeters, my friend, millimeters. We're talking about here.
But he immediately joins back the 7, continues to run. I'm not sure if he timed out
Oh,
or
yeah.
the second.
In one of the 3 sectors, I would say.
Between turns 4 and 5, experts claim. And I guess it's a battle developing for the lead in GT2. Lavrikov and Trolley pretty close to each other. And
Yep,
Virus and
indeed.
LLM. Lavrikov ran little wide in turn 1, but it didn't seem to affect his run pretty much. And they have a decent gap from Dynamics GT2.
Indeed, they've kind of left them behind a bit. Well, while there's not too much going on yet, it's time to welcome, another team's person, member, thingy, driver, or stuff. which is Danny Tamatin from Corsa Motorsports, number 11. Hello, Danny.
Good evening.
So, it's, if I understand it right, this is surely gotta be your team's first kind of big endurance style thing race, if I'm not wrong. So,
Yes, that's correct.
how has it gone so far? What are your first impressions?
Well, it's very good. The event is organized very well, so my compliments to that. And indeed, we recently started Corsa Motorsport. It's a newly founded team. And yes, this is indeed our first big event, and so far we're doing well. We have practiced really a lot. And so far we are on 5th position. The top teams, Genuine Racing, we didn't expect to beat them, but this is about expectation, what we are driving now, so I'm satisfied.
And well, you being a new team, it's well, it's not unusual. It used to be completely normal, but nowadays it's quite unusual for new teams to join GT1 straight away. Well, why did you go for it? Is it just you like the cars more, or what's the exact reason behind it?
Well, I had more experience in GT1 already than I had in GT2, and with the XRR, which is the car that I prefer, I indeed prefer the GT1 version over the GT2 version. So, yeah, that's basically the choice that we made, and we didn't like to go the easy way, so that's why we took the XRR. And yeah, again, not unsatisfied, so.
I guess your main goal being your first endurance race is to be there at the checkered flag, for sure, or not?
Yeah, for sure. That's really important indeed, and well, everything what we can get more than that is just a bonus so far. But I must say, I've driven the first 2 stints, and I think the set is not that fast. It's completely made from scratch by ourselves. And it's not that fast as the top teams probably, but it's holding its tires very well, and we can race quite well this way, so yeah.
Well, seeing as your team is relatively new, how many members have you actually got on the roster in your team?
We got 10 members at the moment, and we got members from all kind of different levels. So we got more faster members and a little bit more inexperienced members, but yeah, the main focus of our team is really to have a very good team, which is really a team and not just a bunch of drivers driving with the same tech, but really a team, and people communicate with each other. That's really important, and we don't have a lot of drivers up to drive on this level, so that's why we can only compete with 2 drivers at this very moment, but maybe in the future that will increase.
But I guess you're surely gonna be aiming at the remaining 3 races to try and tackle those as well.
Yeah, for sure. We are gonna try. I hope my teammate is able to drive as well, because he has a busy life. So we gotta see if it's possible, but for sure I'm gonna do everything about that. Yeah.
Okay, fantastic. Well, I guess you're gonna do more driving later on, or is that for you, or just one more stint, or whatever?
No, I'm gonna do the final stints of this race, and Heidein, it depends on how it goes with him. He will soon come into the pits, and then I'll take over again.
Okay, so anything you want to advertise? Anyone you want to greet? Anything you want to promote?
No, not really. I'm really happy how it goes, and I want to thank for the opportunity, and thank for the great organization of this event. I think we've done an event ourselves, and I know what time it takes to organize an event like this. So, yeah, thumbs up.
Okay, so good luck to you. Good luck to your team. Let's hope we're gonna see you at the finish and at the future races. So, yeah.
Best of luck for you.
Thank you very much. Thank you.
Okay. Yeah. Meanwhile, the battle within the, well, I was going to say top 2, but the lead battle for GT2 They're very much going. Why has everyone in GT2 got orange? Well, actually, well, it's the class color. I was gonna say, why has everyone got orange cars? My fault, that's why. But yeah,
Pretty trendy.
orange. Everyone wants to be Dutch.
Hashtag Orange GT2.
Oh, and Sony joins for I almost said again World Crash League. Oh my god, they're gonna hate me so badly after this race. I mean, World Class Lions. Dear, oh dear, oh dear. But yeah, it's. I think the racing today clearly. I think clearly action focus in GT2. The GT1s are barely in the frame unless they lap people. So.
Oh, we have a M5S up to 6th place, overtaking the very close motorsports.
Indeed, well, that's one place. Well, but they're still on the lead lap, though. I mean, thanks to all the safety cars. Thanks to all the safety cars we've had, the top 7 cars are still on the lead lap. So, as long as that is the case, you can pretty much achieve anything.
Well, I think Corsa must have done a mistake somewhere because they had pretty of a gap from M5S.
Well, the last time I checked, they were within half a second. So, but the other way around. So, not too much has changed on my picture. But
Well, I was following them when the Coast Motorsports driver was on the interview. They were pretty far away from each other. I missed it as always because I was looking for GT2 action.
Also which is of a relative importance, the gap between the top 2 cars in GT1 is much smaller than it usually was at this time after a safety car restart. It really looks like it's true what Jester said, and Isaac doesn't have quite the same pace as he did.
Well, Labrikov really pushing, comparing the tires of Trolley and Labrikov. The Estonian has so much, well, not so much, just hotter tires, just obvious that he wants to take the lead before the pit stop rain. And Labrikov is actually gaining on Trolley.
You can clearly see again that there's more temperature in the right side tires in Lavrikov's car than there is in the Virus car, which might just help him around those right-handers. Left-handers, I mean. I always get that mixed up, that right side tires are hot in left-handers and the other way around. I always get that mixed up. Bloody sides. But yeah, Lavrikov's tires are much nicer on the right side than Troller's. Like he's able to really get that car into the turns and just keep them at corner speed, because, well, traction isn't a problem in these cars because they have about 4 Newton meters of torque. Less than my electric pencil sharpener.
Well, it's a pretty closed circle in GT2 lead battle because Labrikov gains a 10th in the first sector and loses the same 10th in the second sector.
Yeah, indeed. Seems to be kind of a back and forth thing between those two.
Not this lap, Labrikov cutting another 10th off from Trolley. Let's see what the lap times would be now.
It's just always this kind of buffer between them that seems to go up and down, up and down. They're very much matched in pace. Meanwhile, you have well, Jared Mead in third in GT2, and you have Yanni Vihak Kuopus. I will have completely dismantled that name just there, but in fourth.
I'm good at doing that. Kuopus probably.
Oh, I don't know. I'm gonna say Iron Club because that's what their team name is, which is much easier because it's.
I'm just looking at the Dynamics GT2 front. It's pretty smashed.
Nah, that's the 2014.
I mean, front right.
That's the 2014 Regs. Gotta be smashed like that. But yeah, you're right. It's been looking better previously. I mean, the right front is an open wheel car. Luckily, the damage is only cosmetic, so. But yeah.
Well, as soon as it doesn't scrap the ground, it's fine.
Yeah, as soon as if it doesn't scrape along, then no problem. Oh, contact between Ray Kings and Palmonte. What happened there? On the straight? You're having a laugh. You're having a laugh, guys. How can you have an incident in such a way so you're stationary in the middle of a straight?
I wonder what happened to 72 LLM GT2 with Ray Kingsbury on board. He just stopped and then.
Yeah, that's what I'm saying. But
is that a pretty?
Deco said that when he got to it, Palmonte was already spun. So they must have hit each other in one way or another, which rhymes, by the way, and therefore makes me a rapper.
I thought it's a pretty.
Oh, contact between Troll and Lavrikov. Oh, that battle is hotting up a lot now.
Lavrikov is on the bumper of Trolley.
Very much so.
And now there should be trouble because Ivanov comes to lap them.
Oh dear. He's got nothing. Nah, you can't. You gotta let that one by. Yes, like that. Get a bit
Now
of
he might
draft.
use a little bit. No.
Yeah, didn't get too much of it.
But look at the gap now.
Yeah, it's really broken it up quite badly. That's just the thing that tends to happen in multi-class racing. That
It looks like GT2 has more problem with GT1 lapping them, not GT1's lapping the slower class.
well, the thing is, the GT1 just has higher downforce and they've got the higher power. So I guess it's easier to maneuver yourself out of close situations than it is with a GT2. You know, when you've got a breakdown, no one's gonna break down. This isn't R Factor. When you break down to a lower speed as possible, lower speed than usual. I mean, you have to regain your speed. You gotta get back to your line. It's more costly for the GT2, it seems here, to get lapped than it is for GT1s to lap.
And Lavrikov lost 9/10 because of GT1.
Indeed.
Janaka lapping them. Oh man, they in a pit stop. Isn't that too early again? I missed.
Well, technically, I think he went much longer because he went an hour and 8. So he's trying to get back to the hour. So I don't think it's too early at all. But I am being informed that at the King on the start-finish straight, they touch 70 Lou lost it and went right into the number 30 car. So much about that. Kinda didn't help either of them.
29 Janaka lapping GT2 leading people. Well, he'll pass Lavrikov now. He's going on trolley. Team IRC.
Oh, and car 25 half spun coming onto the back straight. Apparently. And they are now in the pits. Oh, and as Isaac Price has a new PB, which really confirms the level of preparation he was saying he had. So...
Impressive.
But yeah, LLM 25 in the pit lane. They have... well, not a lot to lose exactly. They're 2 laps ahead of the car behind, and they just completely pit stopped. They're going back out of track. Meanwhile, in the almighty and the close GT2, Lavrikov is trying to close back up to Trolley again.
Trolley has a 64 Wallcross Lions in front of them. To allow them, let's see how they will manage to do that.
Indeed, and we actually have another similar battle in GT2. We have 88 and 70 relatively close together, which is Iron Club and Dynamics, yes.
Let's see what Dynamics can pull out with their special aerodynamic pack in this race.
Yeah, it's the 2014 spec. That's how F1 cars are going to look next year. They're going to look like an XR that's been completely deformed.
Before I just thought that we should recall the final chicane of Blackwood reverse, the chicane of champions, because we have in one race we have 3 road cars there. That's pretty significant.
I'm not sure Jacob Cooper, Axel Falk, Matt Kingsbury, and whoever else rode there, I already forgot, have won championship, too many championships between themselves in LFS.
Well, everyone is a champion in their hearts, why not?
Everyone is a champion at the school sports day, everyone wins there. Even if you come 45th. that's
you know what?
time.
Everyone won today!
Everyone won! It's a great spirit! Ah!
Sadly, no one can be
Only one person
Only
can
one
win.
person can be a winner today.
Yes, well technically every person who's driving for the car that wins in each class can be a winner, so technically
yeah, we have 2 winners now.
52 in the pits, Lavrikov. More controller goes on, and why would he not? Because his tyres look splendid.
No, well, it might be a small flat spot on left front, but it looks fairly perfect.
You gotta take quite long to I don't know, burn through that left front with flat spots. Lavrikov, off he goes, out of the pit. That's also here we have a fabulous pit exit here, which if you get it right, you can take it even flat out in a GT1 without crossing the line. But personally, I wouldn't exactly risk it. In a GT2 it's no problem at all, but in the GT1s it's a slightly different story.
Talking about pits, I just remember a story from my very first race in Luffespeed. It was a long one at the pit stop. We're still reversed in a BMW Formula 1, BF1 in short. And I managed not to drive into the pits. I started to brake and my front's locked up and I smashed into a wall and into from wrong route.
That's fantastic.
That's one of them.
I didn't know we had David Coulthard in Genoa. That's exactly what he did.
You learn them. You know something new every day.
Adelaide 95, David Coulthard. at its best. 5 out of 5.
Well, I'm not sure DC ever crashed his dampers and drove with them throughout the race.
The one thing I know about DC is that next year is gonna be his year, because that's what he always said. Next year will be my year. In F1 at least. I'm not sure about the other championships he did, but yeah. Next year will be his year.
Sadly, for me as a Ferrari fan, that's sadly what the Stefano Domenicali always says.
That's what he says, yes.
Then next year we'll
next
be
season,
making a perfect car and we will do it on Alonso and Masi to the championship winning positions.
well, you
And
see,
it
that's
doesn't
the,
happen.
that's the
sadly.
advantage of playing Sims, because all the cars are the same.
So you suggest to put Alonso in the sim?
Yes, let them drive F1 2014 in LFS. Much better idea than what they currently want to do with 3-car teams, should there be teams dropping out of the championship. Not that I wouldn't mind it, but would be too much like GP3.
Anyway, Otto Taskinen, the driver for 09 GT1 car for Genuine Racing, has joined. Oh, we have an incident!
Oh
So-
dear, Chucky and Kingsbury. Oh, Kingsbury's backwards on a straight again, and Chucky is there along him. What on earth happened there? Oh, and Matt Kings. No, sorry, Ray Kings. I don't want to lay any blame on someone who's already out of a race.
Well,
Ray
if
Kings.
I'm not mistaken,
yeah.
there was an action between 08 Conquest with Doviage on board and Chuck and Kingsbury. They were all in one pack, and probably some misunderstanding
Something
between
went wrong.
themselves.
Delightful. Oh, there's been more contact.
Anyway, 09 Jenna GT1 in pits. Pricey ready to go out of the car to give Otto a go.
And
Price
again,
stays out.
yeah, Price and Conquest as always, because Conquest they've got granite tires. Oh, 60,
And
64's lagging again, so and they have timed out. Oh well, that's how.
59 Bus GT2 is ready to take over. Henry Duncan has joined the service, so Chris will pit in this lap. And how on earth Lavrikov wasn't put in front of him? Lavrikov was pretty far behind.
No, he just overtook him on the last lap. I think there was a little mistake in turn 1. Oh, bit of contact here again. Contact flags everywhere. Oh, Campini going 3 wide with 2 other GT2s. Fabulous. Also Isaac Price in pit lane. Balling up the turbo, just like you won't be able to do in F1 in real life. And Yasutoka Ledtag takes back over. And rejoins in... Oh, that's gonna be very close. Is it gonna be... Yeah, it's P5 for now. Effectively P1. But
Otto wasn't in a place where he could go out, but he goes out behind M5OS, and if Campini brings some good pace for us, Dynamics could be in a big trouble because of strategy interesting things in M5OS.
I don't know. They seem fine to me if you ask me. Both cars are on the same strategy, almost on the entirety on the same lap, so no issue I can see at the moment.
Let's see if Oh wait, Conquest would bring us another long stint.
Tires look very good. There was some tread for a couple of laps left on those.
And
Walsingham coming in for the second Gen R GT1 car, the number 29. The white one.
That's racist.
No, it's not. Because there's also a black one, so boo-hoo, who's a racist now. Means that not only will Conquest be first now, they'll also be second for quite a few laps. Conquest number 1 is in P2 and Conquest number 2 is in P1. I think it's time for some multi-21 on that part. But yeah, Conquest are really one of the few teams competing in the FZR in this league, and well, they're getting relatively much out of it.
And miracles happen. I mean, Conquest number 2, number 1, car number 7, was lapped beforehand, and now they're on P2 in the leader's lap.
Yeah, indeed. No, that's just how it can go with safety cars and blah and this and that and bips and bobs.
Not much action going on. Everyone seems to be pretty spread out.
Just everyone driving their laps and lapping around the circuit and lapping each other and occasionally actually fighting for position, which doesn't seem to happen a lot in GT1 anymore, but in GT2. Roll is still out there.
Well, we might see a battle developing. Telkala pretty much sees companies back and seems to be his closing.
Well, yeah, it's a battle, but it's really a non-battle because they're not on the same strategy.
Still some spectacle.
Just like all the DRS and overtakes in LFS in F1, I mean, it's like, oh, so yeah, a bit of two-wheel action from the 10 car. But yeah, you know, just watching these non-battles, it's like, oh, another DRS overtake, meh. Like that. I mean, it's quite clear that to fix F1, you just have to run with the DRS constantly open, even in the corners, and I think that's the way to go.
Well, with Red Bull having so much downforce, they would
probably not notice.
Much difference.
Well, I just remind you of Alonso going, oh, my rear tire's gone. No, Fernando, your DRS is open. Oh, well, felt like the same thing.
Remembering when DRS was allowed to use in qualifying sessions and free practice session in all the track, like in Spa, Red Bull was using it in Rouge when other teams just switched it on after DRS, after Rouge. So with Red Bull, it won't work down though. Just leave it as it is now.
Nah, I wanna get rid of it. Death to DRS.
F-Duct was fine. Teams worked it out and But then FIA suddenly thought it's too dangerous to hold the wheel with one hand in modern Formula 1.
Oh, with the F duct, oh, those were brilliant.
Yeah. And Telkala very close to Campini now. Let's see if he has a run on the back straight.
If I was Campini, then as soon as he would get a run on me, I would just let him go, simply because you're just gonna lose time battling, and it's pointless to battle someone who's on a different strategy.
Campini on a pretty defensive line, but not.
Well, he's not being drafted, so why would he defend?
Well, he was little too left, so I just thought.
Oh, 14 causing yellow flag. I don't see why. Okay. Well. But yeah, these are just these strategy-related overtakes. You're gonna see those a lot now in the middle of the race. I mean, we're quarter of an hour past the halfway mark, and
we have Corsa Motorsports in pits now.
Indeed. Probably gonna be. Oh, and we've also got the GT2 leader in the pits. Yeah, Morgan Scholl in the pits.
And Adam Wisniewski takes over Morgan Scholl here, not the old guy from LFS, better known as Garfield 12. Usually driving single-seaters, now decided to join GT racing. And car number 88 should stay out for plenty of time, I guess. The tires are fine. Oh, we have our old car! Another Kingsbury! And immediately spectated. Number 72 GT2 LLM car with Ray Kingsbury has rolled, but...
Oh, did 72 just flip
72
and just spectate?
flipped in the chicane of champions and...
Spectated.
He didn't manage to land on his roof or wheels. He immediately spectated, so...
Oh well.
I guess we won't have much of a safety car again.
Not even little of a safety car. That's just how to avoid a safety car, by being a rage quitter.
And goes out of the car fine. Ray Kingsbury says that is his most epic fail of his life. Our condolences to LLM losing their GT2 cars in the same.
But they still have to. They still have to. Oh, they still have one? Or I think they still have two actually. Or is it one?
Well, how many cars they signed up for the race?
I think 4? Well, they have one GT1 and one GT2, I think. Yeah, I think I'm right.
But at the first look, Ray didn't brake to the chicane. The roll was so high speed, I thought he would just run through it straight away.
I remember in tweaked cars on the drag strip you can run through the wall if you're fast enough, but properly through it, not just bounce off it and fly. But oh man, that takes more speed than just 230. But yeah, that's another retiree in the GT2 class, which now brings us down to 21 runners at the halfway point. So we had 6 retirements, and 5 of them in GT2 of the people who did start the race.
Now
At
we
least.
have a battle developing in the midfield of GT2. Dynamics very close to Team Virus GT2 with Chucky on board.
Indeed. Chucky has had a nice trip in the grass to go with the 72 car. That is no longer with us now. Oh, we also have a 3-way GT1 sandwich between Conquest, Campini and Telkula, and Solani just got out of it in the 7 car, but Telkula is still stuck behind that Campini car, so it doesn't look like they're doing my strategy of letting the Looney go when he's on a completely different strategy, but yeah.
Looks like Telkula is pretty pissed about it. He overly aggressive, running too wide out of the corner before the straight.
Well, he's losing time from it, no question. I wouldn't be exactly very happy about that either.
And now, again, little on grass running out of the final corner.
Certainly not helping them in any shape or form.
That becomes a threat if Otto can pull out some nice pace.
Yeah, he gained half a second on this lap, so Campini really not cooperating very well there.
Well, Campini has the best tires you could have. I mean, the best car condition, low on fuel, tires not overheated.
Yes, but he's not exactly setting the world alight with his pace. I mean, that car hasn't been doing that all day, and Hercules has been leading the first 2 hours of the race, let's remember, so... You know, I'm pretty confident he's not getting the full potential of that car being stuck behind that other car.
Abu Dhabi 2010 match. Let's remember Alonso couldn't get past Vitaly Petrov.
Well, it's not exactly a champion. It's not exactly about a championship here.
Let them, I mean, in the way that is developing right now, he can't pass relatively slow guy.
The most hilarious one is still McLaren versus Schumacher at Monza 2011.
Oh yeah.
Or was it 2012? I think it was 11, but it was
11 because, yeah.
Because the Mercedes was even worse than in 2012, yes. None of the downforce, all of the top speed. But that's just the way it goes in endurance racing. There are no blue flag rules as such. And but he's costing him time, but he's not exactly blocking the whole woman up, so what can he do other than try to pass him? And honk
Well,
his horn at
Campini
him.
had a funny moment braking in turn 1, he did a small mistake, but Telkula can't do anything.
No, not from... He's just, every time he gets too close, just the dirty air's just like, nope, and nothing's gonna happen for him at the... Way!
Otto doing a ninja move on Gorzolani, wow. That was pretty dangerous, even though it's lapping, but that looked scary.
A lot of lapping today has been looking pretty scary, to be honest. funny thing is, I always thought the XR was the least realistic car. Well, not the least realistic car, but it has the least realistic specs of any car. And then you have Super GT moving to 2-liter 4-cylinder engines with turbochargers next year. But yeah, what's unrealistic now? Although it still has way too much downforce, which is not exactly helping this kind of situation, as you can see. It's simply not close enough. Straight line speed is, well, I think one-on-one the same between both. So it's not the Schumacher effect that's keeping Campini ahead.
Well, all Telkala needs to do is either push a little bit more or just wait until Campini makes a mistake and then bounce.
Well, it's been 55 minutes since car 4's pitted, so... Remembering that they're out longer than most other cars, I guess you could put in between 10 and 15 minutes extra time on the track they have before they're gonna well, meet the mechanics again, so this could be a very frustrating thing for Jesse Telkala.
And now Telkala lost 2/10 in first sector for Campini. So 1 step forward, 2 steps back for, in this case, can't do anything. Also the threat of Jana GT1, Otto is pretty closing up step by step.
Yeah, it's not exactly spread out on that end of the field.
Now Otto cut up 4/10 of a gap from Jesse.
Indeed, he did.
Telkala 1:08.
Well, he might just get help there because of that GT2 car from Virus. And he might.
He might have a run.
Yeah, he definitely has a run, but if the run is enough, that's the question.
Now, side by side.
Oh, there we go. We fly by wire.
Ooh!
Bit of hammer weaving. There.
I thought Campini would just dive down.
I thought he would dive, yeah. But Telkala finally resumes the lead in that number 10 Dynamics Racing GT1 car. So took him long enough. Wasn't really his fault though. And now the next one. Well, I wonder if he's gonna pass him. Is Otto Taskinen, or gonna have to pass them rather.
Well, the same problem for Otto. The pace is pretty equally matched with Campini, and if Campini doesn't make a mistake, there's not much of a chance to catch up and overtake it before the pit stop.
Well, if he doesn't overtake him before the pit stop, that's fine as long as he doesn't get any near him. Because we saw how much Telkala lost, and well, I think many people will be very keen on avoiding that contact between the LLM and 55. Nothing major though, just seems to be a little touch while there was some lapping going on.
the action seems to be calm now.
Yes,
Everyone
yes, very much.
With-
It's
with
panic
the
is
reasonable
over.
laps.
I think I think the closest gap is still between second and third in GT1, but the closest actual gap is probably between first and second in GT2. Rob Lochtenberg, our Diamond driver, or Diamond tires nurser thingy, whatever, rejoins to take over the absolute beginners FZR in D2.
And now Telkala has fresh air and much
Yep,
less
except for
pressure.
that-
Started to put great lap times and increasing the lead.
Yeah, now his times are back up to what they were earlier when he was driving in the lead. Or back down rather, because lap times decrease. That's how you go faster. Really just shows you how much it costs you to be behind someone you can simply not pass that easily. Conquest Racing still solid performance in P4. That FZR. And Car 64 will be getting a nice early Christmas present in form of a drive-through penalty for overtaking under safety car at the 2 hours and 30-minute mark. And that's Car 64's second penalty for the same violation, so it might just have another penalty be thrown at them if they do it again.
Anyway, as the action calmed down, let's just review the current standings in both of classes. As Dynamics Racing with Jesse Telko on board and leads the GT1 and overall, with M5S in second, Genin Racing in third, Conquest Racing in fourth, and finishing top 5, another Genin Racing car, now in GT2, Iron Club in the lead, almost 7 seconds behind Team Virus in third, still not rolled Last Lap Motorsports GT2 car, in fourth Savage Sports, and finishing top 5 Dynamics Racing.
Yes, indeed. And still relatively close at the top of GT2, even in the whole top 5, because the whole top 5, if I'm not wrong, is on the same lap, so... well, at
Indeed
least
it is.
at the moment, so... Dynamics fixed their car. They have now equal complete front. They have now the front right damage on the left side as well, yeah.
Oh my god!
Now it looks like a plow. I don't know what's
Well,
struck.
that's a pretty interesting aerodynamic solution.
Yes, it is. It reminds me of MOE when low racing had these lines on the skin and the front was carved in, like literally along those lines, looked like cut out here. And yeah, it's a little bit like that.
And oddly enough, with that kind of cosmetic damage, XRR's body being so massive, Dynamics GT2 has well, no suspension damage, except for a small yellow line, even orange, on front right suspension. So
Yeah, it seems like they've been breaking the bits that don't matter and keeping the bits in one piece that do matter. So at least they set their priorities straight.
Ooh.
Oh!
Two-wheel action for Dynamic GT2.
That's why they're called GT2. They're only allowed to drive on 2 wheels. Just wait till you see the GT1 class. Haha.
But all the retired, it's interesting because all the retired cars rolled in the chicane.
Yes.
In GT2 class, whereas the GT1, more powerful class, which has more speed throughout the chicane, runs out fine.
I think it's the way you're having to attack the chicane in the GT2s. And you gotta be way more aggressive through there than with a GT1. With GT1 you can allow
Well, you must
yourself
be
a little
pretty
bit more
gentle with the
space.
throttle in GT1. So you don't have unnecessary wheel spin throughout there, but yeah, in GT2 you just bounce it through, and one small mistake and you're in a big trouble, so.
Well, the chicane is a bit... I don't know, it's not really a chicane because surely a chicane should somehow be there to slow cars down, which it does, but not that much. And to produce overtaking, it doesn't do at all.
Well, let's call it a tight S.
It reminds me of that old chicane at Lime Rock Park of the old uphill chicane. That it's just really weird. Just a quick.
I couldn't work out how it's driven in iRacing, for example. I ended up in a wall.
Oh yeah, that's the old. The iRacing still has the old Lime Rock Park version with the old chicane, and it's just so weird because you go uphill, and suddenly there's a chicane there, and you're like, what am I meant to do with this? And you have to go through it. They changed that since, but yeah, it's not been changed in iRacing. Obviously, it's not been rescanned or revisited. Lime Rock Park, I mean, obviously.
With that amount of money they get from iRacers, which are willing to pay them.
But I'm sure they're gonna do it one day. By the time they change the Lime Rock Park layout again, it will have been done.
Well, they're scanning the W12, the new IndyCar.
I'm pretty sure they scanned it long ago.
Well, even if they did, but they're based in USA. Why don't you just come with those laser scanning toys and do it one more time? Just because I'm not being like ugly and totally against iRacing, but if you get so much money from it, well,
you still need the track.
It's a lot what they're asking for, and if you want to provide your clients quality, why don't you just rescan the circuit? Because it's totally other.
Well, first of all, scanning a track, even of the size of Lime Rock Park, I don't think that's pretty cheap. Although I think that's not the main problem. But for scanning a track, you need the track for yourself, and you need quite a bit of time. If there are cars going around at the same time, and you will be going, there's quite a huge bump here in the form of a Chevy Camaro. How did that get there? But yeah, talking about Lime Rock Park, this is nothing like Lime Rock Park, because then I'd enjoy it, but yeah. Still not much more news to report.
Everyone is so spread out. That's not interesting.
Everyone is so nice at the moment. There haven't been any lag explosions or massive crashes lately. Remarkable.
We have some action which doesn't change anything. Campini lapping Carpetta from Corsa and Blavrikov. And not far behind is Taskinen. That might be interesting. He obviously cut some time from Campini. And now they are almost in the same picture. So we might see something.
Well, I think it's got to be the closest gap on the track. 1.41 seconds.
But Campini should be pitting soon, if I'm not mistaken. The tires look pretty thin
Relatively,
now, especially
yeah.
fronts.
Well, let's see what the tracker says by now. The tracker says at the last pit stop is 1 hour 10 ago, so sure, they should be visiting to pits sooner or later.
Looking at the fronts, especially, yeah, at the fronts, looking half. Well, you could drive on them, but that's risky. If you have a funny braking moment, you might receive a puncture anytime.
Oh, car 52. What have you done, LLM GT2? Oh, they're spun out of T5 first chicane.
Well, that's a shame.
Oh, they've lost. I think they've lost. I don't think they even lost a spot from it, but they lost a hell of a lot of time from it.
Well, they lost a lot of time for Team Vira's GT2.
Yeah, indeed, that's what I meant. I think Wisniewski was in front of him anyways, but well, he's now a long way.
Battle, but still a regret.
Still a long way in front of him. Oh yeah, but now we have again GT1 battle time. Or P2 overall and in class.
Ooh, Wisniewski, what? No. Ugh.
Yeah, it's kind of harder to overtake there on the outside because just of the way the road's cambered on the right-hander part of that chicane, but it's not too bad. It's still doable. It won't throw you off the circuit.
Well, Campini lost a lot of time in the last lap.
Well, yeah, relatively.
Let's see what can Otto pull out. Again, half a second off Campini's margin over him. Otto doing 0107.9.
This might just help him. The lappery going on here.
Ooh.
Campini has to negotiate some cars, but he's not gonna get through there. So yeah, it's gotta wait to get by the Iron Club car there. Now, onto the back straight, which is the best part of the track because it's the only part I don't constantly make mistakes on, or have been.
It's hard to make mistakes on a straight line.
You tell that Adrian Sutil after the Dakota race. Where did you crash? Oh, not straight. But yeah, let's see whether this will end up in a similar fashion as what we saw with Dynamics. We have since pulled away and created a decent margin to P2. It's actually a very nice part of the track to drive the sector one. I mean, turn one is blind, you're just heading downhill and trying to get your braking right and change down gear, and then you approach turn two, which is banked a little bit, so you've got nice grip, although you still have to be careful not to run out wide.
Taskinen has a run.
Yeah. Get in the top gear.
Joins, so even if it, well, he's overtook completely
Well,
now.
That was the most important overtake of the whole race, except
Yes,
for all the other ones.
Company now has to pit.
Ah! I thought he was going to drive into his back for a second, but yep, 0-4 into the pits after what seemed like half an eternity. I think they might just get through with one more stop after this.
I guess so. And also car number 11, also in the pits.
Yep,
Ready.
that's Corsa Motorsport.
Of course, ready to change drivers. It's also interesting thing about drivers doing single or double stints.
Yeah, there's a lot of more single stints in this race than there were last rounds. At least that's what it feels like to me. But I could be wrong.
Because for some people, like, even for me probably, when I was racing... well,
Oh, and Tokala spun! Tokala hit LLM and spun!
oh!
And there's Tuskinen right there!
Overtakes him!
And he's gonna take P1! That's how quick a lead change can happen! Oh my god! Just LLM half spun right in front of Tokala, and he just had nowhere to go other than drive straight into them and spun himself!
Lead change, ladies and gentlemen, Jenna GT1 XR in lead after Telkala spun. Let's see what Telkala can pull out of this.
Oh, I bet he's bloody glad he hit that LLM car again on the exit of that corner.
His rears are pretty toasty.
Ah, well, it's okay. It's not ideal, it's just about okay.
Well, no damage, almost no damage for Telkala, so it's fine for him.
Well, only cosmetic damage he hasn't got. He didn't gain any damage for it. The only damage he gained was time he lost now.
Well, I can see
Oh, but
some...
Taskinen's being held up by the Dynamics GT2 car. Conspiracy theory! It's all a team game. Oh, and he's got a run.
Well, I'm not too much into conspiracy. It's just a coincidence.
Well, I'm not either. I'm not either.
It's just a coincidence that Costa was in front of him in such moment.
But this created quite a nice battle.
Now we'll see a great battle developing. Telkala trying to go back into the lead, and Taskinen trying to defend his lead. Oh! That was very brave in the last corner.
Now also, Tuskinen entering the corner pretty late there, but didn't even make any contact.
Clean racing. But Telkala cutting half a second off Taskinen last lap.
Wow, I didn't see that one coming, but okay. If there has to be I just thought there were two Conquest Racing cars when I switched back to Conquest Racing, and Absolute Beginners was right in front of him, and I thought, holy moly, that is the same car, but it's not. They're just both yellow with black. For a second I was in for the shock of my life. Where the hell did the second Conquest car come from? yes, we're just shy of 2/3 through the race. As Daniel Dupter times out again for A6 Motorsport, who don't exactly seem to have a very good connection to the server today. Oh, he wasn't in the car yet. Well then, that's a relief for them. But yeah, with just about 2/3 of the way of the race gone, we had quite a nice lead change. Well, not a nice lead change, what seemed to be quite a stable lead from Dynamics being diminished by an incident with back marker. So it's still all to play for here for the overall win. And also, don't forget, since we're coming up to the 2/3 of the race soon, stream will again be cut, which I'll tell you about when it's time for. But for now, we'll stay on this. They're both on the same strategy, both cars, so it's a straight fight. Not too far behind, we also have Conquest in the other Gen R car. They're within the... well, they're just a sector behind, not almost a lap. And in GT2 we still have the likes of Wisniewski and Lavrikov. They're still battling. Well, not battling on track, but overall those teams are battling for the win in GT2, LLM and Virus. But for now the story is P1 GT1. Genuine Racing car number 9 versus car new to this race, car number 10, which is Dynamics Racing. And it's gonna be interesting to see how this is gonna play out, because both cars still have driver changes ahead. Both cars still have 2 pit stops ahead. It's all equal between those two. And it's gonna also be interesting that if the also mighty M5S Racing team only has to do 1 more stop, where they're gonna end up, because while being a mobile roadblock, they made up a lot of time by not pitting that many times.
Well, I wonder what another safety car would bring out.
I think another safety car would pretty much ruin their strategy.
That would mix a lot of... They would... the cards totally.
I think they would... They need to... they need the race to stay green. I don't think they want a safety car.
And I bet M5S crew just praying for God that no one would roll.
Well, at the moment I think it depends when they're getting it. At the moment it would be okay. It's just at their strategic points. If they can do this XY distance, then it's fine. But when it's really just in time for the schedule of others, then it might not be that profitable for them.
Whereas GT2 lead the Team Virus with Wisniewski has a massive lead over Lavrikov now.
Yes, indeed.
Well, thanks to a spin beforehand, now Lavrikov has to...
Yeah, he lost a lot of time from well, not that much time, but it didn't help the gap at all, so...
Unless something unexpected happened, it's pretty much fixed P2 for them.
Well, the last time I thought someone had a fixed P2 was 20 minutes from the end of the last round for us, but that's a completely different story altogether. I don't think we're able to say anything safe yet because there are still over 2 hours left. There's still a whole FIA GT race left. Oh man. Seems like the longest 6-hour race since the last one.
Well, Telkala doesn't have much to do about Jeddah. He's pretty equal in pace and not catching up too much.
Well, he's close. He's ready to pounce though, so that's all that matters. You know, if you're in that kind of distance, then just having the opponent you're fighting against right in front of you, that's already quite something.
Well, Otto with a lot of pressure on his shoulders, obviously, to keep the lead. And it's easy for Telkala now because he's in a chasing position.
Yeah, exactly. He's hunting, and the hunter is always an easier position. Oh, just about gets by LLM there. Thought he might have to pass him after the chicane, but nope. Oh, and LLM also preparing themselves for a pit stop. Lagutka's taking over from Lavrikov again. I don't know what it is today with mere names. It just doesn't work at all.
Well,
oh, and he disconnects again, so maybe they're not ready for a pit
Lagutskas is
stop.
my compatriot, so it's not like CK sounds as K, it's C and K, so it's Lagutskas. Well, Lithuanian drivers has a lot of support for the new drivers, so hello everyone, if there's any watching. It's also, I'm pretty happy to see Lithuanians creating their way to normal league racing, and actually, in this case, that's a very good race for them so far in the GT2 LLM. But interesting thing that Lavrikov stays out for another lap.
After just 4 hours, we finally know who Nito Velox's third driver is, and it seems to be Laszlo Kovacs. So
Pretty unsuccessful debut for Nito Velox.
unsuccessful is a bit. That early pit stop. Oh, and they're putting it into the tires.
That's not good, Paul, no.
Oh dear,
But
oh
nevertheless, he
dear.
stays out for another lap.
That's. If I was him, maybe I would do too, just to test if that was my actual line through the chicane, or if that was a mistake. Just looked spectacular though. It's fantastic. Tires flying, car hopping.
Well,
But
still
then-
not much of a hurt for a suspension. It looked pretty bouncy, but not very significant, so...
Nah, a little bit of damage on the dampers, but otherwise, it's fine. Although staying out another lap, they can really do that because then they actually have to only make one more pit stop after this one.
Oh, and we missed that Telkala has passed Otto.
Oh,
Telkala
well.
back into the lead.
Oh, good. We don't. At least we didn't miss anything significant. I think this is like the 4th time we've missed a lead change. But yeah, Palmanta now into pit lane. And they're indirectly fighting LLM, I think, and well, not even that really, because LLM are off sequence as well, so... Gonna be a tough call. The thing is that... thing is now... Any safety car after the 4-hour mark gonna be very, very difficult for you if you pit, because frankly you're just gonna do another pit stop, and where you're gonna save that from? Nowhere. Yeah, it's pretty much after this round of pit stop is pretty much well, standard procedure for all people running on a normal strategy and not off sequence.
Anyway, we might have a battle soon for the final podium position in GT2. Mead relatively
and,
close to Mikola.
Yeah, indeed. And they are another one of those fake battles. Mead is at the very end of a stint.
It's
and
well, the
Mikola
latter
just started
under
one.
development.
Botef connects for Fast and Crazy.
And Lavra coming to the pits to give Lagutskas a wheel.
There we go. It shouldn't take too long with GT2 pit stops, not much more than 20 seconds.
And now Mikola, Mead, and Koska passing through the LLM.
Oh, driver change took a little bit long there. But eventually it got going.
But Mead has still a pit stop to do. His tires are 10. Whereas Mikola is with a fresh, good rubber.
Indeed, that's why it's not really a battle, because Mead's basically just where he is because he hasn't pitted yet. As Yesitelka sets the fastest lap of the race with 106.90.
That's impressive.
That's indeed not a bad time. Also for the statistics, people, we have spent a total of 31 minutes and 7 seconds on the safety car, and the last safety car ended at 2 hours 38 minutes and 48 seconds race time. We are now, well, basically roughly 1 hour 35 onwards from that, so it's spread out hugely compared to when everyone was sitting on each other's bumpers. I think that's actually gotta be something we won't see in the 2 long races that much, because on the 2 last races, in the 12 hour and the 24, you're gonna actually be able to lap cars much more efficiently, and you have a much wider and much more open circuit. But then again, the next track we're going to is SO long, so gotta be like this but with walls.
Oh, I love South City.
Oh yeah, South City always makes for a good race.
And Ivanov joins the server to take over Auto Taskinen and #1 genuine racing car. Let's see if Otto stays for another lap or he'll just dive into the pits after
I think he's gonna come into the pits.
Yep. Straight into the pits.
Oh yeah, that was beautiful!
Otto Taskinen doing some Ken block stuff.
Oh yeah, Gymkhana 6 is nothing compared to this. Some nice drifting on the pit entry, it was beautiful.
Gymkhana 7 featuring Otto Taskinen.
Yeah, get rid of that Ken block he can't drive. Oh, fantastic. I'm enjoying this. Yeah, Taskinen in the pits now. Also, the other Jengar car in the pits, waltzing him into pit lane.
Walsingham. Oh,
And Rantala
I
will
thought he would
take over
join.
from
That
him.
was Lynn, but Rantala immediately joined.
Yep. One car leaves, the other one comes. Pelkala, of course, still out. And he goes on for another lap as well. Conquest Racing, of course, well beyond the hour mark.
And the Conquest number 2 with Shemek Doveraj staying out. I wonder when they will pit. I totally lost the track. The tires look pretty thin, so they would need to pit any soon.
They're okay for another like 4 or 5 laps.
As Isaac Prix joins the service, so
Yes.
Teltola pitting most probably this lap.
Yeah, let's see whether his pit entry is can be anywhere near as stylish as what we just saw. I think everyone should be required to enter the pits like that.
Let's see what Jesse Teltola shows us.
I think he's gonna be hit with about a cannonball of understeer. Let's see, through the chicane, into the entry.
Very tidy.
Very good balance actually. Oh, and Piotr Goy connect, so that's gonna be a stop for Conquest number 8.
Also Mead for Saracen Sports into the pits.
Yep, and yes, he missed his pit spot just a little bit. Oh, and Vidoviarz goes on for another lap, which means that he's gonna be first for not even the full length of the lap. Most likely he's gonna be scored as leading a lap, because obviously he's gonna cross the start-finish line in a pit lane. Belkalit goes away again. Well ahead of Ivanov.
What? Why did Isaac join then?
Oh. I have the suspicion someone balls that takeover up.
Anyway, 59. Chris joined to take over from Danskanen. Oh, and a timeout.
Oh, it's car 64. Again. Which is still WCL number 64. Conquest Racing into pit lane.
It looks like Malmö Worry connected to take over from Soin, and he eventually timed out before the pit stop.
Oh, what button do I press to take over? Is it this which says restart router? Oh no, it wasn't it. Yeah, Conquest in the pit lane. FXR in front of them should get going well before them, and they do. At the moment, the pit stops are seriously the most exciting thing we can show you, because there's literally no racing at all. Oh, I say that, and well, there are 2 cars relatively close, but we'll have to see how that battle for P4 and TT1 develops.
Oh, and lost loads of time letting past GT1s, and now Kapal is on back bumper of him, sort of.
Indeed. And this one is a real battle, because both of them just pitted.
Yeah.
And this is for P4 in GT2.
So we have action whenever we ask.
The The weird thing,
Let's
of
see what
course,
goes.
is even though Savage didn't actually race last race, they already have 10 points. So they're probably thinking more about championship than they are thinking about this very position.
Krasimir are now lapping those who battles for P4, not harming them too much.
I have to say there are too many like dark colored cars. Hard to tell them apart from far. But that's a completely different matter.
Kapal staying very close, calculating the distance and lifting off in time so he doesn't go into dirty air.
He just about missed the moment through that chicane, but a bit too late. Oh, and he touched the grass on entry.
Oh,
Oh dear, dear, dear. That's lost him quite a couple of car lengths.
that's a shame. Some adrenaline flowing through veins of Kapal. Little too confident, and there you go.
It's just that usual thing of driving off the track on the edge. Not exactly a brand new mistake or uncommon mistakes. Oh, and we have GT2 leader into the pits shortly because Niki Jakovic just joined. Take over that.
It won't affect much because
Iron Club is very far behind. Yes,
yep, we just started lap 202, so and Wisniewski is about to finish one, so yeah.
Yeah, I think they'll easily keep the lead. There we go. Also Damien Guider joining for Conquest Racing number 7, the XR. Also a pit stop expected from those guys.
Well, from a viewer's point of view, you probably a viewer should want to have another safety car procedure, but talking from the race's side, I guess pretty much everyone in the grid is pretty calm now and hoping for safety car not to come, not to spoil the tactics. On this case, especially M5S.
I think there's quite a few people driving who want a safety car, but I hope they don't get it.
Well, Krasi
Just because they want one. I don't think it would make too much of a difference. We're gonna see. I mean, okay, well, we're gonna see what's gonna happen in the next once the stream has been restarted, because we're gonna stop it just for a second to cut it into viewable parts of 2 hours, and well, if your stream does not automatically restart, which it generally should do, just press play again, and we'll see you in a few seconds.